okay, we need to have a serious conversation about something that is holding so many of us back. And if we can change this, suddenly the journey to where we want to get to, the journey to manifesting the life that we want, is so much simpler and straightforward. And I also need to create this video because I don't think I have ever come across anyone talking about this on the internet. First things first, I want to invite all of the women who follow my channel to my 3-day event, which is called Epically Aligned Woman. At the end of this month, we will all come together in the most positive atmosphere so that we can manifest all our dreams in 2024 and beyond. So if you want to join me for that, click the link below and get your place for free. This realization has come to me over the last week, where I have been having multiple conversations with different people who have been setting their goals for the new year, students within my signature manifestation program, friends, family. It's very interesting that all these different people I've been speaking to, who come from completely different backgrounds, by the way, all seemed to share one common trait, or it's not even a trait, it's a habit. What's exciting about habits is habits can be broken, habits can be changed, new habits can be formed. And this habit has been holding so many people that I've been speaking to back. And I think I can talk about this from experience because I too had this habit. It still sometimes comes up for me too, but I have on the whole been able to change this habit, change it for the better. And as a result, my life feels so much easier. So many good things have happened. I've allowed myself to go for so many of the things that I wanted to make my dreams a reality. So let's talk about it. The downside to personal development. Sometimes we can build a habit in our mind where we see ourselves as the loser. Maybe for years you struggled. Maybe for years you had lots of failures. And maybe during those years you developed an identity about yourself that you're no good, you're really far away from what you want, you don't have what it takes, you're not there yet, you're not there yet, you're not there yet. And after years of seeing yourself that way, of building that self-concept, so many people that I've been speaking to, when I look at their situation now, I look at what they've achieved over the last year, they're telling me about how they've landed huge, amazing contracts and paychecks with big household name companies. There's somebody else telling me their net worth of all of their different assets added up together from all their years of working and saving and investing. And these people can't see themselves in the way that I see them. I see the success. I see the things that they should be proud of. I see how far they've come, and yet their brain is still in the habit of feeling like they're not good enough, like they're that person that they used to be. And so what ends up happening? They have achieved a few material things, but then they still feel stuck, or they don't build upon it. They're not creating momentum. So they're either achieving something and then taking themselves out of the game, or they're achieving stuff and wondering why they feel like a total imposter. This is definitely connected to imposter syndrome. Or they are wondering why, despite having achieved these things, they're still completely unhappy or unconfident in themselves. And so it really comes down to this one thing, which is all I'm going to talk about in this video. If you've been in a habit, if you have an old stinky habit of thinking about yourself as a loser, for a lot of people, if they just worked on that one thing, if they just prioritized changing their self-concept, changing how they feel about themselves, not only would they be able to manifest more things, but at the end of the day, all that matters, they'd also be able to feel fulfilled, happy, accomplished. You know, what's the point in achieving the things if you don't feel good about yourself or you can't see any of the achievements? This is one of those videos where I don't know if it'll relate to everyone, but I also have a feeling that there's going to be people in the comments saying, as always, this video was for me. Because I know that our community, we are very in sync, we're aligned. And when I get a message that sort of just hits me, I know that it's important for me to record it because I'm just being the mouthpiece for whoever needed that message. The universe brought you to this video. The universe gave me the message. So it's right for me to record the video and upload it so that this message can be received by you. So if this video was for you, then you're probably asking, okay, Lucie, what can I do? How can I change this habit? From my personal experience, like I said, I'm not a perfect person. I'm a human being. So I'm not perfect at it, but I've definitely improved at this a lot. One thing that I stopped doing, people who I thought were, I followed them because they would inspire me. I followed them because, they've achieved the goal that I want to achieve. If I was looking at their content and every time I looked at their content, I was putting them on a pedestal. I was making up things in my brain about, oh yeah, well, they must be so much more this than me. And, oh, I bet they're really organized, and I bet they're really confident, and I bet they never scroll through social media. I bet they never go to the toilet. I bet they're just perfect. Meanwhile, me, oh, I'm so imperfect. And if every time you look at somebody's social media, you're comparing yourself to them in a way where you are deepening the divide in your mind between them and you. They're over here, meanwhile, you're over there. If every time you consume their social media, you're actually widening the gap, then that behavior has got to stop. Instead, when you see somebody who has got what you want or who has achieved what they want, you should be using that as opportunities to help show your brain lots of evidence as to why it's possible for you. Look at them and don't put them on a pedestal. Don't be bitchy, don't be mean about them. Be real about it. I'm sure they're not perfect. I'm sure they've not got it all figured out. I'm sure they have their doubts sometimes. I'm sure they sometimes have their days where they just are tired and they don't want to do anything and they just want to slob out on the sofa. And how great is that? That means that your brain is going, cool, if they can do it, I can do it. Look for the ways that you're similar to them. Maybe you see someone on social media and they're brilliant and they're successful and you think, you know what? When the way that they talk, they're quite shy, they're not that outgoing. And if you're a shy person, you can go, look, they're just like me. They're shy and they've achieved X, Y, and Z. That means I can too. I'm not saying look for people's flaws, but hey, if you're picking yourself apart and glorifying everybody else, level it out a bit. I was having a conversation with someone today and they were saying, I think the reason why I'm not that successful, and by the way, they are very successful. So that was thing number one. But they were like, I think the reason why I'm not able to do these things is because growing up, I was always told the story that, those things are just pipe dreams and those things are really unrealistic. It's unrealistic to dream that big, blah, blah, blah. Whereas this person on the internet probably had really supportive parents who, believed in them and told them they can do anything. And I was like, hold up a second. What evidence do you have? How do you know that's true? Or is your brain just coming up with a story to tell you why they are so different from you, even though you don't know any of that for a fact? You don't know. You don't know what kind of childhood they had. You don't know what kind of experiences they had. You don't know. What if this person is just like you? What if they had a similar upbringing to you? What if they've had similar thoughts to you? And what if they took all of that and they turned their lives around and they made it happen? This whole conversation is about our habits. If our brain has been in a habit of putting ourselves down and putting everybody else up, if our brain's been in a habit of thinking that we're a loser so that when we look at other people who have the same success or more than us, our brain instantly looks for a million reasons why you're different and not why you're the same, then it takes practice to start pep talking yourself and intentionally practicing choosing to look at yourself differently and to look at other people differently relative to you. The way that I've done this, so when I find my brain doing this, when I find my brain starting to feel like I'm not powerful, like maybe I'm a bit of an imposter, like maybe I'm not good enough, like maybe I couldn't do it. When I catch my brain doing that, I instantly feel it. I can instantly feel in my body, that yucky feeling that comes with self-criticism, self-deprecation. So as soon as I spot it, I get to intercept that thought pattern. I get to be the one to help me to look at myself differently. So I invite you, from me giving you this little pep talk now, to carry the pep talk on with yourself and start to actually acknowledge everything that you have done, everything that you have accomplished, every skill that you have, every challenge you've overcome, all of your best qualities. In fact, if you really want to get this going for you, if you really want to break this habit, get a blank piece of paper and write 100 things that you have accomplished, that you have achieved, that you have overcome, that you are good at, that you have strengths at, that you are proud of yourself for. You might write 2 or 3 and then 10 and then feel like there's nothing else. But I dare you to keep sitting there with the pen, with the paper until you reach 100, and you will find eventually the floodgates will open and you'll start to get into the flow of focusing on your strengths, on your achievements, on the skills and resources that you have. If we're out of practice, we're obviously going to feel rusty at it. And so this is all part of the process of what it takes to build that new habit for your brain to start seeing yourself through a different lens. And when you see yourself differently, you will feel differently. And when you feel differently, you will allow more good in. You will allow yourself to go for things that otherwise you've been sabotaging yourself at. And it will even allow you to, hey, dare I say it, be happier about exactly who you are right now and exactly how life is right now. Which at the end of the day, when it comes to the end of our lives and we look back, would we rather have lived a life where we felt good about ourselves for most of the time and where we felt we had a lot of happy memories looking back because we actually chose to practice feeling happy about ourselves and our situation as best as we could in as many moments as we could in our life? So while you're manifesting more and striving for bigger things and focused on growth, which I am all here for, just make sure that you're doing it in a way that's actually positive, where you feel good about yourself and more, rather than you feel crap about yourself and so you're desperate for more. See the difference? Let me know if this video is for you. If you got anything from it, make sure to give it a big thumbs up so that I know. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring my bell so that you never miss another one of these videos. I love you. I'm going to keep showing up for you this year. Until next time, bye.